What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video, new Gimmick Puppet support. But I think we can still expect one more Gimmick Puppet card, although I'm not sure about this, but I really wanted to try out this new support. So let's take a look. A new trap card was revealed earlier, which is... It's good, it definitely has a solid effect, well, very similar to X-Saber, Cottom Skull or whatever. Hero Lives Alike card that depending on how many monsters your opponent controls, you can special summon Gimmick Puppets from your deck, but it's a trap card, so that makes it somewhat slower, super slow that is, and it gives your opponent, of course, the opportunity to, in this case, yeah, 2019 format is super fast to destroy it, or Unicorn bounce it, or whatever, right, Phoenix, etc. Let alone the card is fantastic. It can also search out a rank up spell card, which is of course superb for any Gimmick Puppet oriented deck. The other card is a continuous spell, and I was like, nah, that's not great. In theory it sounds good that as soon as I think a Gimmick Puppet is destroyed by battle or by a card effect, you can special summon a banished Gimmick Puppet. That's fine, you know, with Allure, etc., but in most situations you're just wishing that it's like a negation card in Permanence or Ash Blossom or whatever, so I don't like it very much. Machina or Machina, finally, I put it back in this particular deck for a huge reason being the urgent schedule. I believe the card is immediately tutoring two machines from your deck, and I'm looking at two machines like Machina Fortress and of course a level 4, I believe, or lower machine Earth monster. Here in this particular deck, it's the Machina or Machina gear frame. There are other options like, for example, your, what is it called, Egghead, a Gimmick Puppet Egghead, which is indeed an Earth type monster. Other options, well, sadly, Gimmick Puppets do have a low level machine Earth type, the level 1, you know, that copies the levels, but nope, you cannot special summon that one from the deck, so very sad. Otherwise, it would have been very, very solid, but I believe it's fine. It's not really a new strategy, you know, combining Gimmick Puppets with Machina Machina like years ago. Not sure about the correct year, but even then it wasn't really that big of a top tier deck. But now I kinda like it, especially because of urgent schedule and the fact that, you know, you can basically discard any higher level Gimmick Puppet monster to special summon your big beatstick. And that's something the deck needs. This new support doesn't really solve the core problems of Gimmick Puppets. Okay, it's quite cute, getting some extra special summons, some extra searches, searching your rank up spell card. Sadly, the what is it called, Agent Force or something like that is still banned in the TCG, while it's at 3 in the OCG if I'm not mistaken. Makes sense, not really. But again, that's again one of those biggest reasons why this deck, it's not going to... Konami, you know, they definitely know how to make good support, how to make decks good, but with this new support, it feels a little bit lackluster, right? There are some good cards like, what is it, the Baby, you know, the Breed Dragon for Gimmick Puppets, solid card. Same for the Graveyard Effect, and also that new level 8 doll, which I eventually dropped it from the main deck. You can discard like a Gimmick Puppet from your hand to special summon herself from your hand. Well, I guess it's fine, but you have your other level 8 here, the middle one in my head, forgot the name, basically has the same purpose, right? No reason to put that quote-unquote -1 card here in your deck. Doesn't really make too much sense. And the main deck is of course already running like 44 cards, so really I want to cut a couple of cards, but I've been trying so many builds. You need like to main deck Ash Blossom, Impermanence for example, and I like the trap trick to immediately search out your trap card, your Puppet Parade, and this sadly feels like Gimmick Puppets. Well, the fate of the deck if going first. The lack of a good Gimmick Puppet Exceed, for example, that you can make first turn to, let's say, prevent your opponent's special summons, like your opponent is allowed to special summon once or whatever, like that would have been good, right? A big Gimmick Puppet and let it, you know, focus on only the Gimmick Puppet archetype, meets 2 level 8 Gimmick Puppet monsters, prevent your opponent from doing something, you know, Floodgate Effect, 2019 Yugioh standards, I guess, but nope. First turn the deck doesn't really have too many options. Make urgent schedule live. Again, I think my opponent needs to control more monsters than I do, so immediately force out Roar. Machine Duplication, this is a pure build by the way, I like Dupli. Inferno Reckless Summon is something I have been contemplating on, but I'm not sure about it. It's decent, I guess, but again, running well over 40 cards, and I believe Dupli is fine as well. and versatile, of course. Here I should be able to attack for game, I think. Yeah, yeah, Call by the Grave is something that, well, he could have used it earlier or much sooner, but you know, with the baby, if you banish it from your graveyard, after that your opponent cannot activate card effects in response to Gimmick Puppet effects. So, you know, you can't chain hand traps like Ghost Ogre or Ash Blossom or Call by the Grave if your opponent activates a Gimmick Puppet effect. But of course, I think he was able to use Call by the Grave earlier. I'm not sure if it mattered too much, right? Anyway, so going second this time, well, I've been testing evenly matched in the main deck as well, since you really want to go, yeah, second. I mean, going first is not really too optimal, right? Unless, of course, Gimmick Puppets get a new, they get a new Exceed. A good boss monster, prevents your opponent from doing something, hold off your opponent. That's what I want to say. Anyway, so going for Giant Grinder, definitely good. 2 options in the extra deck next to the other one, the other rank 8. Solid, you need to run both at 2, I guess. But yeah, he had so much advantage. Triple, what is it called? Humpty Dumpty or something like that? You know, the strange looking guy here in my hand, giving the extra summon from hand. Definitely a good card. Can provide some rank 4. Yeah, some rank 4 or link plays, I guess. So there is a trap trick, going to search out my puppet parade, but again, yeah, the opponent having so many options, I guess. Yeah, there is another Phalanx, yeah, another Heat Leo, it's not going to matter, right? Bouncing back the big defense boy being the Giant Grinder, I believe the name is, and I'm going to, yeah, just scoop it up. He got back the Ash Blossom, he got back a Roar and Rage. What can I do, right? Last example against Paleo Frogs with, what is it called, Marincess? Marincess is a very fun archetype, I guess. Sadly, it's not really doing much in the OCG, although the deck or the archetype Marincess it's quite ridiculous if you think about it. Like resource management resource management and you know, free links, free reborn as well. Reborn your swap frog, for example. So like, it's quite strange that Marincess isn't really doing anything in the OCG, even though it's quite ridiculous of an archetype. Anyway, yeah, it's just other decks are more ridiculous, I guess. Another Giant Grinder here, getting some extra pluses, going for, well, like a big beat stick, I guess. And that's what I was fearing, right? Attacking into one of the Mirror Forces. This time being the Storing Mirror Force, I guess, and that puts me back by a lot. The Giant Grinder, again, a useless defense wall, and yeah, you know, like a dead body here, what is it called, Jiri Doll, and I do have the Debris Dragon in my hand that can potentially force out the Link play next turn, getting some extra special summons. Yeah, Link play ready, and the rank 8 Exceed play ready. If it of course goes unhindered, and yeah, let's face it, in today's format that's not really too common, I guess. Yeah, he's also going for the Link 2, 3 monsters needed, and so he can interrupt any of my plays during my turn. So it's basically game over, I guess. And also is going to end with Totally Awesome, potentially negating any effects. Here in this case, he can definitely negate the baby. If he wants, I can reborn something from my graveyard, but I need to top deck something good. The level 8 Gimmick Puppet can be good, but again, I have to control a face-up Gimmick Puppet at least to be able to special summon it from my hand. And I guess it works out fine, but again, there is no good target left anymore. What can I make? Like any Gimmick Puppet to instantly, like, you know, upgrade itself to a Chaos Puppet or whatever, right? Like do much more other than putting string counters on your opponent's monsters. That feels really underwhelming, right? So give it, or let's say any Exceed that you can overlay on your regular Gimmick Puppet monsters to, well, very similar effect to the Chaos Boss monsters, as in destroy any card from your opponent with string counters or whatever, right? Something like that would be fantastic for Gimmick Puppets, and I think we can definitely expect more Gimmick Puppet support. Again, I think only one card needs to be revealed. Not really sure about this, but if that's the case, like, no way that's not going to be an Exceed, right? That should be an Exceed. Preferably, of course, a new rank 8 Exceed for the archetype with, of course, a good and solid effect. So again, like always, guys, feel free to leave suggestions for the build. I like the Machina engine, especially because of urgent schedule, giving you more special summons and, of course, pressure on your opponent in the form of 2 monsters into a Link summon. And let's not forget Machina Fortress in your graveyard as well. Okay, thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.